On the news, court strikes out suit against End Bad Governance protesters. New Minister of Education reverses 18-year age limit for tertiary school admission. And President Tinubu promotes acting TOS Oluyede to Lieutenant General. Thank you for joining us on the news on TV360 Nigeria. I'm Tamilore Akinkolye. A federal high court in Abuja has dismissed charges against 119 individuals detained during the nationwide End Bad Governance protest. Justice Obiora Egwatu struck out the case on Tuesday after the Attorney General of the Federation, presented by Director of Public Prosecution Mohammed Abubakar, invoked Section 174 of the 1999 Constitution to assume control of the case from the Inspector General of Police. Following the AGF's request to discontinue the case, we saw no opposition from defense lawyers. The court ordered the release of all defendants, many of whom are reportedly minors. President Bola Tinubu earlier directed the AGF to terminate the charges against the detainees and called for their immediate release.
Very much. We're here on the directive of the President to ensure that the children are safely returned back to their destinations. And before we return them, we want to do also due process of ensuring that they are medically fit. So we take them for safekeeping in the facility and make sure they're medically checked. And where we need to make additional treatment, we take care of them so that psychological they're also tested, and we ensure that they're safely and well treated and taken care of and giving human face to what happened. So that's why we're here.
We are calling on the federal government to take steps to return these children to their homes and then embark on rehabilitating them, and as we have applied to the court, to also enroll them in schools. We are also calling on the governments of Kaduna and Kano states to take urgent steps to have these children particularly taken back to their homes. Yesterday, 19 people were also charged in Borno State, including minors. Again, we are calling on the government to discontinue all cases pending in different states with respect to the August protest. I'm also aware that 16 people are standing trial in Kano. Initially, 632 were arraigned before a mobile court, but today 16 are still standing trial in court. Once the government has recognized the constitutional rights of Nigerians to protest, the criminalization of protest in Nigeria must stop.
Meanwhile, 114 individuals, including minors and adults, detained during the End Bad Governance protest arrived at the presidential villa in Abuja following their release by the Federal High Court. Justice Obiora Egwatu dismissed the charges against them after the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, requested their unconditional release. Vice President Kashim Shettima welcomed the groups on behalf of President Bola Tinubu. The individuals will now be handed over to their state governors, including Kaduna Uba Sani and Kano's Abba Yusuf. Present at the State House auditorium for the occasion were various government officials, including the Ministers of Education, Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction and Environment, as well as Deputy Senate President Jibrin Barau and key members of the House of Representatives.
Over 300 billion naira was lost in the protest, consisting mainly private property through looting and loss of business. I will urge you, I will advise you, you are our children, to use the opportunity of the President's magnanimous gesture in ensuring that you go back home and become responsible citizens who will contribute to the growth of the society. I will urge our governors and our elected representatives here that cut across political divides What binds us together as citizens of the Federal Republic of Nigeria supersedes whatever that divides us. I will call on our two governors and our representatives to coalesce into a single force and ensure that these suspects are rehabilitated and reintegrated into the social fabric of our communities.
Few times in my life, but my only disagreement with the people that were agitating, pushing these children, is simply because I have not seen a child of any big man here. Most of the people that are talking on social media, talking about these children, I haven't seen their children here. Those that are even urging them to go out, I haven't seen the children of those people here. So what I was telling the children, again, is that next time anybody asks you to come out, ask them to send their children first. If they send their children or they are ready to lead the protest, you can do it. But what I see here is an attempt to use some children, and of course I'm happy they have realized that also, and we are going to support them. We are going to encourage them to be of good character. We'll give them support to go back to their businesses, and some of them that are in school, we support them to finish their schools.
President Bola Tinubu has promoted Acting Chief of Army Staff Olufemi Oluyede to the rank of Lieutenant General during a ceremony held at the Presidential Villa. This promotion comes just days after Oluyede was appointed as Acting Army Chief, following rumors surrounding the status of the previous COAS, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, who is reportedly on leave. The confirmation of Oluyede's promotion will require the Senate approval, which will cement his position as the substantive Army Chief. In his remarks, President Tinubu expressed that the decoration reflects Oluyede's dedication and exemplary service to the Nigerian military, emphasizing the importance of maintaining safety and stability in the country. Oluyede, who previously served as the commander of the Infantry Corps, expressed gratitude for the honor and reaffirmed his commitment to upholding the vision of his predecessor while ensuring peace across Nigeria.
I do everything possible to encourage men and women in the service and continue to keep you informed while I ready to listen to your various advices. All I can do on behalf of this country is to thank all of you for your commitment and dedication to see to the sovereignty and stability of this country. We are facing some challenges in security, but I could see progress being made. We must recognize that. Thank all of you, the Navy, the Air Force, the intelligence, and the synergy that existed between you is what has made this country calm and stable. And we need that stability to assure the citizen that prosperity is not far away from them.
Well, I've been part of the security architecture for for like 5-6 years now at the topmost echelon. So I know everything that's happening and I know what it takes. So what I intend to do is to continue with the philosophy of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, and give my very best to make sure that I support, in collaboration with other security agencies and sisters agencies, to bring all forms of criminality to the barest minimum, and to warn all the criminals out there that nobody has monopoly of violence besides those of us in uniform. They should be ready to have that.
And to the education sectors, Nigeria's new Minister of Education, Tuji Alausa, has abolished the 18-year age requirement for tertiary institutions admission, marking a significant policy shift. Speaking at his first ministerial press conference in Abuja, Alausa also indicated potential reforms to the nation's education framework aimed at enhancing practical learning and addressing Nigeria's unemployment challenges. Alausa reaffirmed the government's decision to void over 22,700 200-degree certificates obtained from fake institutions in Togo and Benin Republic, stressing there would be no reversal on the matter. He highlighted the administration's plans to collaborate with the private sector to train students and develop their practical skills, particularly through empowering agriculture universities to engage in commercial farming as a means to address food insecurity. And Bianca Ojukwu has officially taken office as Nigeria's Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, committing to leverage our extensive diplomatic experience to support President Bola Tinubu's foreign policy objectives. During a briefing at the Tafawa Balewa House in Abuja following her swearing-in, she emphasized a strong focus on safeguarding Nigeria's national interest and aligning with the administration's 4 Ds in foreign policy, which is democracy, demography, diaspora, and development. Bianca, previously Nigeria's High Commissioner to Ghana and Ambassador to Spain, highlighted her ambition to harness the potential of Nigeria's diaspora as Africa's largest population to further the nation's foreign policy goals under the current administration.
70% of our population is under the age of 43. So that's a huge demographic. And we fully intend to harness the immense potentials at their disposal to ensure that our country gets that burst of creative talent, of skills, of the vibrant energy of youth and what they bring to every dynamic country. Most importantly, we intend to key into the President's initiatives regarding the diaspora. We all know how strategic our diaspora population is. I mean, the diaspora remits 22 billion. And you can see what we can achieve if we leverage on their economy and the foreign direct investment that they can help engineer and drive.
And the newly appointed Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, Nwate Yewada, has vowed to restore the ministry's tarnished reputation both nationally and internationally. Welcome Bishtaif after a swearing-in by President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. Yewada called on the team to align their efforts with his vision, emphasized the importance of infusing a human touch into federal government reforms and policies, and urged the staff for their cooperation in achieving these goals.
An image issue that we need to be addressed. We have a trust deficit between the ministry and the general public and the national community. And we must kill those image issues, address the issue at the trust deficit, so we close the gap between us and the international community and the public also. And in doing that, we need to also ensure that we have transparency. And part of the measure of transparency is to ensure that we get most of our processes automated. So we can bring some level of transparency so that we ensure at the same time that what we are doing can be visible as we give visibility in the first place. And the visibility brings transparency both at the local and the international level.
The mission and vision of Mr. President of eradicating poverty and providing effective humanitarian services will be appreciated by Nigeria. We are ready to do that. We call for your cooperations in discharging this. All our doors will be open.
To security matters, the Nigerian Air Force NAF has confirmed the death of a top Islamic State West African province ISWAP commander Bashir Dauda, along with 49 of his fighters in airstrikes conducted in the Mate local government area of Borno State. According to NAF spokesman Air Commodore Lushola Kimboyewa, the precision strike on October the 31st targeted key ISWAP enclave. In addition to eliminating the terrorists, the air operation disrupted a major ISWAP supply depot in Jublaram containing food supplies such as beans, millet, rice, crucial to sustaining the militant resources. And a coalition of Nigerians under the APC Solidarity and Development Forum has demanded the resignation of Mele Kyari, Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, accusing him of poor leadership. Protesters gathered at the 3M zone in Abuja on Tuesday, voicing frustrations over skyrocketing fuel prices, persistent fuel queues, and escalating economic hardship affecting citizens nationwide. In an open letter to Senate President Godswill Akpabio and House Speaker Tajudeen Abbas, organizers criticized the ability to operationalize Nigeria's refineries, despite the Nigerian government's $4 billion investment.
It is crystal clear that the NNPC has played the role of economic sabotage. The biggest shameless saboteur of the Nigerian economy today is the NNPC. It has become an embarrassment to the government of Mr. President and to us APC youth. So many of the economic challenges for which the APC-led government is criticized and maligned today are caused by the direct sabotage of the national economy by Mele Kyari NNPC. It has not addressed oil theft and is in fact alleged to be the chief thieves. It has not ramped up production despite media stunts and false publicity. It has not opened the petroleum business, and most sadly, it has remained the greatest obstacle against local refining and the biggest promoter of importation of bad quality petroleum products in the country. In light of this, we hereby demand. We want to demand. Firstly, we demand the sack of Mele Kyari. Failure to sack Mele Kyari will not leave the street. We will continue to protest, and our chapters across the 36 states of the Federation will take up and continue to protest against this inept and incompetent leadership.
The way and manner Mele Kyari is administering the NNPC, we are not comfortable. He's sending a wrong signal, and now we have discovered and we have been calling on Mr. President at the National Assembly that enough is enough. It's our time Mele Kyari should excuse us. The aim why we are here is we are calling for the removal of Mele Kyari with immediate effect.
We'll go on a short break here, but still to come, voting begins in the United States with Kamala Harris and Donald Trump neck-to-neck in polls. Details of this story after this break.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the GoTour app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Welcome back. Now, here's a quick recap of our top stories. A federal high court in Abuja struck out the charges against 119 individuals detained over the nationwide End Bad Governance protest following a request from the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi. The AGF exercised its constitutional power to discontinue the case, citing that many of the accused were minors who should not face trial. Justice Obiora Egwatu granted the AGF's request, ordering the immediate release of the detainees. This decision aligns with President Bola Tinubu's directive to terminate the charges and ensure the welfare of the minors involved. We also informed you that Tijjani Alausa, Nigeria's new Minister of Education, has announced the abolition of the 18-year admission benchmark for tertiary institutions and entered a review of the country's education policy. During his inaugural press conference in Abuja, he emphasized the need for practical education to tackle unemployment and stated that the Nigerian government will partner with the private sector to enhance student training. However, he reaffirmed that the government will not reverse its decision to void over 22,700 degree certificates obtained from unaccredited universities in Togo and Benin Republic. Now, in case you missed any of the news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Lime's World TV and AVO TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at TV360Nigeria, or download our mobile app on Google Play Store, Huawei App Gallery, and Apple Store. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. It's now time for business news, and Joy Uche is on standby. What's the latest, Joy?
Thank you, Tamilore, and welcome to business news. Now, the Executive Vice President upstream of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, Orishemeyiwa Eyeson, says Nigeria is currently facing the challenges of low funding to develop its local gas projects. Eyeson disclosed this at the 40th anniversary of the Abu Dhabi International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference. According to her, the challenges persist despite having over 200 trillion cubic feet of proven gas resources and targeting compressed natural gas as its transition fuel. Eyeson, however, reiterated the commitment of Nigeria to the Oil and Gas Climate Initiative, bringing together 12 of the largest oil and gas companies worldwide to lead the industry's response to climate change and cut gas flaring drastically by 2030. Still on business, in an effort to strengthen trade ties between China and Nigeria, the organizers of the 17th China Commodities Expo Nigeria Brightway International Exhibition have launched the 2024 exhibition, which have top Chinese manufacturers, and to promote international trade partnership with Nigeria. The Lagos State Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat spoke at the expo that had over 250 Chinese companies and is expected to attract over 5,000 buyers, disclosed that the state is open to more investors. He added that the state governments have created an enabling environment for any kind of investment and is ready to provide support if needed.
Our administration is committed to fostering an environment that promotes trade, encourages investment, and supports local enterprises. We recognize that strong bilateral relationship, especially with a great country like China, are very vital for attracting foreign investments, and that will drive infrastructural development and create jobs for our people. So the China Commodities Expo is not just an exhibition. It is a testimony to our commitment to strengthen international trade relations. Lagos has become a gateway for global trade and investment that is built on a foundation of collaboration and openness to partnerships. So we open these doors to this expo. We also open doors to possibilities that will strengthen ties between our countries, enrich our community, especially the business communities, and build a legacy of economic growth.
The Nigerian economy remains the largest market on the African continent, with a population of over 200 million people. And just as I said, Lagos is the heart of the economy. And with the planned rebasing of the Nigerian economy, we will soon regain our preeminent status with regards to the size and ranking of our GDP on the continent. But more importantly, trade between Nigeria and China has been of tremendous value and benefit to both Nigeria and China. We need to strengthen the complementarity of trade between our two countries. We need to leverage this complementarity to strengthen our production capabilities, export of value-added products, and export competitiveness.
We'll take a short break and return with stock market reports. Welcome back. It's the second weekday of trading and the Nigerian exchange market has bounced back into the greens, increasing by 0.22%. Now, this week had opened with losses as the all-share index slipped to 96,000 basis points and the market cap fell to 58.73 trillion naira as displayed on the screen. But in Tuesday's trade, Corn Oil led the gainers, closing at 208 naira, followed by John Holt, which closed the day's trade at 3 naira 99 kobo. Now, in terms of trading volume, today's session saw a 56% decline in volume, a 42% improvement in turnover, and a 3% increase in deals, with over 540 million shares trading at 10,676 deals, corresponding to a market value of over 20 billion naira. Now, turning to the global market, investors were on edge as Americans headed to the polls on Tuesday, drawing to a close a dramatic U.S. election, that a U.S. cycle that has impacted bonds, stocks, and other assets in recent months and could further sway markets as results become clearer. Now, in the foreign exchange market, the naira remained under pressure against major currencies while trading at 1,735 naira on the parallel market, and the British pound traded at 2,255 naira, with the euros at 1,865 naira on the black market. That's the latest from the business and stock markets updates. Back to you, Tammy, for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Joy. Now, on the global scene, polls have opened on the U.S. election 2024 after a heated presidential campaign ended on Monday night. Millions of voters are registered to cast their ballot across the United States. Democratic candidate Kamala Harris and Republican Donald Trump are going head-to-head in a race that remains too close to call. Harris and Trump have made their final appeals to voters in the key battleground states, stressing that the stakes of November 5 votes could not be higher. And the Vice President of Equatorial Guinea, Teodoro Nguema, has suspended all officials involved in sexual scandals within government offices and ministries. Announcing the decision on Monday via X, Teodoro Nguema, Equatorial Guinea's Vice President, said the government would take severe measures against such acts. This comes amid the sexual scandals involving the Director General of the National Financial Investigation Agency of Equatorial Guinea, Bautsa Ebang Egonga. Bautsa was caught on tape engaging in sexual intercourse with his brother's wife, cousin, and sister of the president of Equatorial Guinea. In a follow-up post on Tuesday, the vice president also said the government would soon install surveillance cameras in all government offices. Defending champion and record holder with 7 ATP finals titles, Novak Djokovic has withdrawn from this year's event due to an ongoing injury. The 37-year-old had qualified for the ATP finals as the 6th best player of the season, but he announced on social media that he would miss the tournament. This announcement suggests that Djokovic's next appearance will be at the Australian Open on January 12, 2025, where he aimed for a historic 25th Grand Slam title and his 100th tour-level trophy. And that wraps up our bulletin on News Now. Many thanks for watching. See you again next time.